How many people do you know who struggle with their health? Chances are, whether they show it or not, most of the people in your life do. And chances are, you're one of them. Whether you're dealing with anxiety, depression, endometriosis, acne, eczema, autoimmune, thyroid, Lyme, brain fog, fatigue, or any other symptom or condition, you're far from alone. Living with symptoms has become the new normal. So no more guessing games. It's time to get answers. Welcome to the Medical Medium Podcast. I'm Anthony William. This is episode 2 of the Geoengineering and Chemtrail series. In this episode, we're going deeper into the sabotage, and we're going to start with the weaponized decoy called the Contrail. The Contrail, the ultimate psych out. It's not a chemtrail you're seeing up there, sir. It's a contrail. Reminds me of the old bait and switch. Remember the old days? That's not a UFO that landed in your yard, Mr. Hansen. That was a weather balloon. And now, these days, we're in a time everybody knows aliens exist. Everybody, or almost everybody, believes they exist. They believe they're spacecrafts, spaceships, UFOs, unidentified objects flying in the sky, in the atmosphere, life on other planets. Nowadays, too much proof. Too many videos, too many people with too many sightings, even the government talking about it as being actually real. And worldwide, there's an understanding that alien life exists beyond our solar system. But in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, no way. It didn't exist. It was weather balloons. It was the fog. That's what it was. Or something else. But now we know better. We have so much proof. It's obvious. But what about the chemtrails? What about geoengineering and weather modification? Why is that such a mystery? Why are chemtrails such a mystery? Why does it seem like such a conspiracy theory? And why is there so much censorship around chemtrails? And how come no one comes clean? They're dumping this stuff on everybody every single day. Planes are releasing toxic chemicals on people every day, every hour, every minute. And if someone says something, it's make-believe, just like the old weather balloon. They're told it's not true. They're told they're seeing things. There's no toxic chemicals being dropped on everybody from planes. That's absurd. In this episode, we're going to explore the contrail, the con, the ultimate con. Fasten your seatbelts and get ready for this one. We're taking another plane flight. Mister, what's your name? John Appleby. Okay, Mr. Appleby, explain what you saw. I saw a spaceship flying over our farm. And then my son saw a little gray man that ran across the yard and into the cornfield. And then the spaceship weaved a whole bunch of stuff in the cornfield, and all the corn is all wrapped together like in a knot. And then the spacecraft just flew off into the sky and disappeared. Mr. Appleby, there are lots of reports of weather balloons in this area and some thick fog. We're putting on record that this was a weather balloon, and I just need you to sign the statement. But wait a minute, my son saw... Mr. Appleby, no disrespect to your son, but he's 9 years old, and children have imaginations. But I saw the spaceship. And it was over the house, and it made a lot of noise. Mr. Appleby, John, you saw a weather balloon. You understand this now, do you? You have your hand on my shoulder. Can you just take your hand off my shoulder? If you don't understand this, and what you saw, a weather balloon, we're going to have to question you and your family further. Do you understand this? I suppose you're right. I think I did see a weather balloon. And it was a big weather balloon, and the fog is kind of thick tonight. And I appreciate you guys coming out here. And let me just sign that document right here. I see John Appleby. Have a good night, Mr. Appleby.
Many times over the years, over the decades, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, it was just like that. Alien abductions, UFO sightings, alien sightings, all swept under the carpet, all tucked away, hidden away, classified reports, redacted documents, hidden documents, missing footage of sightings. 100 years of aliens aren't real, UFO sightings aren't real. There must have been some sand in your eyes. You must be tired. Are you on drugs? Meanwhile, we've come a long way, and it's obvious now, and so much information is released, and so much footage is taken because everybody's got a camera in their hands. The world is different. It's accepted. Aliens, UFOs, life from other planets, flying saucers is accepted. Are there some people that still believe there's no such thing? Of course there is, and there may always be that. But the world, for the most part, has accepted life from other planets, sightings, UFOs. There recently are even police officers coming to people's residences that saw a UFO land, aliens running through their backyards, and the police were actually afraid to go and seek out those aliens because they knew it was real and it was frightening. But we're not there yet with the chemtrails. We're not there yet, even with geoengineering. That's a whole mystery. People don't even know what geoengineering is or have a clue about weather modification and what that means. And the powers that be that run this planet, that actually really run this planet, the evildoers that have caused so much harm throughout the decades and the centuries, don't want anyone to know about the chemtrails. They want people to believe in contrails, that chemtrails don't exist at all. They want people to believe that it is an actual conspiracy theory, a ridiculous thing. Dangerous toxic chemicals have been being dumped on everybody since the 1960s. Planes filled up with tanks inside of them. No passengers on there, just a couple of pilots. And dangerous and deadly toxic chemicals, toxic waste being released out of these jet planes into the atmosphere, dumped on us day in and day out since the 1960s, all the way till now, every day, and you can see it up in the sky. All you have to do is look and you see the white streaks going across the sky. But even though we see it every day all around the globe, we're told it's not real, and what we're seeing is not real, and it's not actual reality, it's not the truth, that these are chemtrails. We're told these are contrails. Contrails, the ultimate con. World governments, world authorities don't want to fess up. They don't want to truly admit what it really is. And there's still a lot of pushback over the chemtrail thing. There's a lot of censorship over it. Even weaponized Wikipedia, the ultimate fakepedia, puts out statements about contrails anytime anything's mentioned about chemtrails out there. And why is everybody trying to hide it? Why is Wikipedia trying to hide it? Why is authorities around the planet trying to hide it as if it's not there when planes are flying every day over everyone, dumping highly toxic chemicals on everybody? And here we are, 2025, and there's no transparency with this. 2025, people are out there having a picnic. They're grilling on their grills. They're outside taking walks during Easter. They're taking jogs. They're running on the streets. They're exercising. They're in the parks. All the kids are in school and on the playgrounds. And in the sky above everybody are these streaks, these white streaks floating everywhere. Dangerous chemicals released out of planes. Meanwhile, it's all a dirty secret. And these chemicals being released every single day are cocktails. Highly toxic cocktails. And the contents of these cocktails we're going to talk about in detail in upcoming episodes. But if you like spoilers, mercury, lead, aluminum, copper, petroleum byproducts, acids, barium, solvents, herbicides, mosquito killers, thousands of different kinds of byproducts from worldwide industrial chemical industries. Chemicals from old storage bins from World War I, chemicals from storage bins from World War II, Agent Orange, DDT. And these are just the chemtrails. We're not talking about geoengineering chemtrails. It's a little bit different. lots and lots of metal, and custom factory-made combinations to block the sun, to manipulate the rain to create floods, and different unique weather combinations, deflectors and reflectors to actually start up tornadoes and hurricanes. Geoengineering is a fancy word, which really means we're going to steal your sunlight. We're going to try to create a tornado or hurricane. We're going to try to create a flash flood. We're going to dump a bunch of metal particles in the sky. We're going to try to change the electrical currents of Mother Nature and storms and rain and clouds, all while guaranteeing somebody with asthma is going to have a rough day. Because these evildoers behind geoengineering and weather modification, and these evildoers behind chemtrails and the chemtrail programs, don't care who gets sick. They don't care who breathes in what. They don't care what's dumped on everybody's heads. They don't care what's dumped on everybody's food, the gardens, the farm fields, the produce that grows. And they don't care about little children with asthmatic conditions and all kinds of different lung problems. And they don't care about the chronically ill. They don't care about people with different kinds of symptoms and conditions that are hypersensitive. And they don't care about the stuff that they release in the sky, creating Alzheimer's and dementia, contributing to it. What they care about, the evildoers, the people that run this planet, way above public authorities, what they do care about is if you know it's a chemtrail, is that you know the truth, that they're dumping stuff on you. They don't want the chemtrails to stop. They don't want the classified programs to stop. They don't want the millions of planes worldwide to stop flying. They want to keep on dumping what they want onto people. And they want everybody to believe the ultimate con, that it is a contrail that they're seeing, not a chemtrail. So let's get into contrails. What is a contrail anyway? A contrail is moisture in the engines. And as the plane rises, starts to head up, goes up to higher altitudes, the weather changes. The cold air against the engines, the hot engines, and the moisture involved. Just like on a really cold day, you start your truck or you start your car and you see the exhaust and you see all that white fume and smoke come out the back of the exhaust pipes until it disappears and there's nothing there. An exhaust trail, a contrail. And when the jet's going up, it's really cold up there in the atmosphere. And the hot engines and the moisture involved in the engines and the cool air, the icy cool air. As the plane climbs to a higher altitude, you get a contrail. But here's the key. The contrail can only last so long, and it can only be so long. It can't be miles and miles long. A contrail can only be 100 feet or a couple hundred feet long or 100 yards at best. And in the sky, a contrail is really short, very short. So you see the jet plane and you see the contrail. But keep in mind, it's when the jet plane is climbing high, ascending, not descending. A jet plane, when descending, cannot create a contrail. A plane, when it's ascending, can create a contrail, but only when it's ascending, going up, not when it's been up already and it's flying. So when a plane is 20,000 feet in the sky, and flying, it cannot create a contrail anymore. It can't. It can only create a contrail when it's heading up to that 20,000 feet, and then it stops. And that contrail is short. Once again, extremely short. So a contrail can only last so long because there's only so much condensation. Condensation burns away really quick. It can't just leave a streak in the sky 5 miles long, or 10 miles long, or 20 miles long. But the geoengineering industry and the chemtrail industry wants you to believe that it's contrails, not chemtrails, not deadly chemicals, not metals. Instead, just condensation, water, that becomes ice particles. And they want you to believe that these ice particles can last for miles, can span miles, can be a white streak in the sky that can go 20, 40 miles long. But contrails can't. And that condensation that turns into ice crystals doesn't really turn into ice crystals. It vaporizes, just like out of your exhaust pipe in your car on a really cold day. Ice isn't shooting out of your exhaust pipe, and that steam, that condensation that's coming out of your exhaust pipe isn't turning into ice particles and floating in the street. As a car goes by and it's 10 below zero, you're not walking across the street and hitting ice particles. And as the exhaust steam passes by or floats out of the exhaust pipes and floats into the air, or the wind takes it, that's not a stream of straight ice particles. Just as you breathe out of your mouth and you see your breath, you see it float in the air on a really freezing cold day, 20 below zero, you're breathing, you're seeing your breath leave your mouth, and you're seeing moisture come out of your lungs. Moisture, as this water vapor leaves your lungs, it's like a liquid gas formed out of water. And on a really cold day, you won't see snowflakes come out of your lungs. You won't see snowflakes form and come out of your mouth. You won't see large ice crystals come out of your mouth and float in the air. And up in the sky, in those planes, the exhaust, it's different than our lungs, and it's different than our physical bodies and our breath. But there are similarities when it comes down to moisture, hot moisture, and when it's hitting cold. When moisture in a hot engine that runs through hot exhaust leaves and gets into the air and becomes airborne, does not turn into snow crystals, does not turn into snow, does not turn into ice. Instead, that liquid gas is a vapor, and that vapor vaporizes because that water wasn't a mist. That condensation wasn't a mist. And even at some point where there was enough condensation or an extreme amount of condensation coming out of those exhaust pipes, it would be short-lived. Coming out of those jet engines, it would be short-lived. As short as seconds, as short as 10 to 15 to 20 seconds, not enough to make a chemtrail. Instead, just a small contrail. Now, there is a difference between chemtrails and geoengineering, weather modification trails. And they are two different organizations that share the skies. One is using dangerous chemicals and dangerous metals to manipulate weather and weather patterns. Another is just dumping dangerous chemicals, cocktails, including fungus, different forms of fungi, onto the public, purposely. When it comes down to contrails, in the end, they have nothing to do with any of this. Nothing to do with the programs of releasing dangerous chemicals and toxins from planes into our skies and on top of us. But it's a decoy. It's a trick, just like the old weather balloons. The contrail explanation out there is there to soothe the beast. It's there to make scientists happy. It's there to make people feel good. It's there to convince people there isn't anything sinister happening in the sky above them. The sinister evildoers learn to weaponize contrails, the term contrail. And in the end, it's just an ultimate con. There's a lot of darkness out there. There's a lot of evildoers out there doing despicable things to people on this planet. And this one belongs in the top 10 list of assaults on humanity. So next time you think about a chemtrail or you see something out there or someone talks about a chemtrail being a contrail or something on the internet that's saying that contrails are actually chemtrails and that there isn't any chemtrails and that geoengineering isn't the spraying of all kinds of dangerous toxic metals. If a media outlet or news authority believes it's just contrails or is trying to tell people that's what it is, as if science is backing it up, and definitively, it is a contrail, not a chemtrail. And sources like Wikipedia, which is really Fakepedia, says it's contrails and that chemtrails just don't exist. Then you know it's just weaponized, or they're working for darkness, or working for people who have immense power on the planet. So when you see a streak in the sky, when you see a chemtrail, don't be fooled. It's not a contrail. And when you do see these chemtrails up in the sky, sometimes hundreds of them as they fan out, as the jets go by, when you do see them, keep in mind what you're seeing isn't being dropped on you. What you're seeing isn't coming down on you. You're not breathing in those chemtrails. You're breathing in chemtrails that you can't see, that have already fallen, that were dropped many, many miles away and floated your direction, but they're not in the sky anymore. And the ones you see in the sky are going to fall somewhere else, very far away from you. So when you look in the sky, don't fear those chemtrails. Those aren't coming your way. Don't worry about those chemtrails. They're not affecting you. There's already chemtrails in the air for everybody, all the time, not only in the United States, but all over the entire planet. We breathe them in every single day we step outside. We even breathe them in a little bit in our own homes. They seep in during the night and during the daytime. They're nothing to fear. They've been up there since the 1960s when the program started, and we're going to go into detail all about it, who's behind it, what's occurring, when it's occurring, how to protect yourself, and how to cleanse out and clean out the many toxins in the upcoming episodes in our Chemtrail and Geoengineering series. For more free information, you can go to medicalmedium.com. You can find me on Telegram and YouTube and Rumble, and check out the Medical Medium book series. Many blessings, and God bless you. Look up in the sky. The blue has faded. I wonder why. Did the weatherman lie? Or have we been jaded? I see some jet planes up there. They're not that high. No, they're flying pretty low. What do you know? The plane is leaving a trail. How is that so? Look, so many more to go. I'm losing count. How insane. They're just laying it out. I feel we're getting blasted. It's as thick as molasses.
This is Flight 222 calling the base. How does it look down there? I painted the sky, no questions asked. Kept a straight face.
This is the base. Flight 222. Landed airstrip, New Mexico. If you're through, refill the tanks, and back up you go. Roger that, base. This is Flight 666 to the base. I made an X over the interstate. Flight 666, this is the base. I see you're keeping your chin up while releasing the white lace. Roger that. This is Flight 666. Base, can I ask you another personal question? Do you believe in God? This is the base. Flight 666. In this work, God has no place. This is Flight 222. I'm back en route. I overheard, and I'm a God-fearing man. Base, are you saying God's not part of the plan? This is the base. Flight 222 and Flight 666. Just be men and keep on spraying the chem. Roger that. Roger that.
Original published medical medium information gets stolen and poached by podcast doctors, social media doctors, influencers, and medical clinics. Medical medium information has never yet been proven wrong by medical science and research. Instead, the opposite, only proven right and then taken from medical medium published material and used in the conventional and alternative health communities. Medical medium information continually sets the stage for medical science to understand chronic illness better. If you choose to share or use the original, unique content from the Medical Medium podcast, books, or Medical Medium social media, please cite where this information comes from, so others who see and learn of this information have a chance to know where it all originates, to give them an opportunity to heal, so they don't end up losing years of their life searching for answers like so many have before them. The Medical Medium information here on this podcast doesn't come from broken science, interest groups, medical funding with strings attached, botched research, lobbyists, internal kickbacks, persuaded belief systems, private panels of influencers, health field payoffs, trendy traps, or gathered bits and pieces of gimmicky confusion. Because chronic illness is exploding like never before in our modern day history, it takes a greater force than us down here. It takes a helping hand from above. Medical Medium information has street cred. It's an organic movement of countless people around the world healing. More healing stories of real people not being paid to tell their life-changing experiences of rising out of the ashes of sickness and entering into the light of full recovery, getting their lives back and finally healing when nothing else in the world of health could move the needle and get them better. The information on this podcast is not man-made. It comes from above, from a higher source. Whatever you believe in, whether God, the universe, the light, or the creator, or if you believe in nothing at all, that we're just floating through space together on this rock. Know that the information you hear on this podcast is separate from all the other noise out there. It comes from a different place, a pure, untampered with, advanced, clean, uncorrupted, original, primary source, a higher source, spirit of compassion.